Alright guys, another August day. Again, no rain. I wanted to show you I did start some peaches because I live in a northern climate. They will sprout in the spring. There's already weeds sprouting in here, which is not great, but I started some peaches and nectarines, and I'm going to start some plums. You can see evidence of the drought. Even though we're watering every day, it's not the same as if the plants were getting summer rain, which they would normally be getting. And we have only had rain, I think, twice this entire summer, which is very, very strange for us. Last year we had like monsoon rains. This year we have no rain. And you can see how all of the plants are not faring well. Also, because there's no rain, we're having more pest issues. So the groundhog has come, eaten all of the sweet potatoes. He has eaten, I'm assuming it's a he, the lower levels. This is the one sweet potato not been touched. Lower levels of the green stalks have been eaten. So we ate zinnias. What else? Kale. Strawberries. You could see here, these were really thriving. These sweet potatoes completely stripped of their leaves. I'm hoping that we still get sweet potatoes. But kohlrabi, I mean, you name it, this groundhog is eating it. And it's hopping the beds. So it's getting in the backyard. As literally as soon as me and B go inside, it comes in. It's hopping the garden beds. And it's eating whatever it wants. You can see here, stuff is struggling. I'm finally getting, an Armenian cucumber. So I planted this in May. It is August 31st. You can see there's mildew. I've been trying to keep on top of it. Even though we don't have rain, it's been really hot and humid, so the plants are really stressed. You can see on the cucumbers, they do not like this weather. I'm hoping, crossing my fingers, that I get a loofah. I don't see anything. It is flowering. I don't know. I still have about 30 to 45 days before my frost. So I'm hoping, since this year was abnormally hot, that maybe my frost date will be later. But I mean, you could just see how everything is dry. All this was watered last night, but it's just so hot. And everything is stressed. And when plants are stressed, that equals disease. And I was already having an issue with some disease on things, and now it's just magnified with the drought. We're in a severe drought here in New York. They are limiting water usage, and because I'm an herbalist and everything I grow is medicine or food, I am still watering. Look, there's bugs on the melon. Even like the cucuzzi squash has stopped producing, which alarms me because we were producing well. But you can see it ate bok choy. Yes, we have some pest damage, but also this right here, that was the groundhog. The groundhog ate this wild spinach. It got into the garden. It ate string beans. I'm not really sure what else it has eaten. But, you know, the garden chores don't stop just because you have pests, just because you're in a drought, just because it's 100 degrees. You have to still keep supporting the garden. So I'm doing that the best I can. I treated again for white fly and cabbage worms, hoping to still salvage these 3 cabbages. This 4th cabbage, I don't think I'm going to get anything. It doesn't get enough light. It's kind of crowded. You can see there's a lot of string beans. String beans are finally producing again. Peppers are starting to pick up, but you could see the yellow leaves on the tomatoes. We did have some swallowtails on the fennel. Another butterfly hatched today. We had another one hatch yesterday, but you could see, you know, the garden is stressed. It's still producing, but it's very stressed. And I am very stressed because no matter what I do, I can't force rain to come, right? I can't eradicate every single pest. I can't be out here 24/7 making sure that nothing comes. You can see here, this was all eaten by the groundhog. He then ate the string beans. the beans and the leaves on this side too, right? So that was all by the groundhog. I still have zucchini, which is amazing. I did get 2 zucchinis yesterday, but like even on this sunflower, do you see the pest damage? Never have I had that. So this year it's been unprecedented between the heat, the drought, the pests. Even with me treating with homeopathy, it's working. I don't know what I would do if I wasn't using homeopathy for pests, because I think I would have lost so much more. But see, I tried to plant my broccolis. They're not really growing. I mean, it's just, the basil looks really sad. That one looks better than the other ones. The other ones look awful. So, you know, you can do what you can do. So that's our biggest jacuzzi right now. I'm letting that grow out to cure. And if they're not in the way, if they're not in headspace way, I'm letting them cure. But see, like some of them, shriveling up. Shriveling up. That's not a good sign. That means the plant is stressed. It's not getting what it needs. I've been trimming back leaves, hoping to salvage the plant, hoping to allow it to get what it needs. But, you know, this watermelon hasn't really grown. The other one hasn't really grown in the front, so I don't know if they're ready, if they're gonna be ready before it gets cold. And I know partially that's my fault because I didn't give them enough room on the trellis, but we're still getting some cherry tomatoes, still getting some big tomatoes. The lemon balm is happy. The groundhog did not touch that. The sage is happy. But, I mean, this poor dogwood is losing all of its leaves. It looks so sick. And if you just pan around, when I'm driving around, I see all of the trees losing their leaves. It's August 31st. Lots of trees have no leaves. They already have turned colors. That's not supposed to happen until like mid-October or late October. So it is severe. So if you don't believe me, you can look at the pictures I'm showing you of what goes on. The elderberry, we've taken off most of the berries. It produced a lot, and actually, knock on wood, the birds left it alone. I have to pick a little bit more today. But we got a great harvest out of that. This mulberry tree had disease last year. Surprisingly, the disease looks better this year, I think, because it's getting more water than it typically would, because I planted gopher spurge to keep the groundhog out. And when I had it in pots, it worked a little bit better. Like, it would knock the pot over, it would still come into the yard. But now I have it planted and it's not dissuaded at all. So I'm not really happy about that, because those seeds were expensive and there was only about 8 seeds in the pack, and not all the seeds germinated. I think 6 germinated out of the 8. But the milkweed is stressed. I mean, everything is just stressed. And this is what happens, unfortunately, when you experience drought. You experience stress on the plants. But Mother Nature is resilient. And I'm determined to learn from her still. I'm determined to be resilient, to not give up, no matter what is thrown at me. Let me know what you're learning this year and what hardships you're facing in the garden. Talk to you soon.